Hello, my lovelies. I am Madam Crystal Butterfly. And today, my lovelies, we are diving back into the world of horror with today's book, Long Valley by Robert E. Kreig. But before we get to the spookiness, let's take a moment to talk about the brilliant mind that crafted such a terrifying tale. And, wait a second. It's snowing again. What is with the weather lately? Robert officially began his journey into writing in 2015 when he first created Long Valley, later leading him to write 11 books, and he let me know that there are more stories on the way. He was first inspired to start his path towards writing at an early age thanks to his love of stories. Growing up, Robert used to enjoy hearing people tell stories around campfires, at dinner tables, and being read to before bed. He soon began digesting books as if they were candy. His parents encouraged his appetite for books by helping him get to the point where reading was something so natural to him before he even began school. Robert's teachers also encouraged his love of fiction, and one of his high school teachers from his senior year gave him an extra push to take his writing more seriously. Unfortunately, some obstacles prevented him from following that dream at an early age, leading to writing becoming more of something he did in his spare time. One day in 2015, years after starting his job as a teacher, during a lesson on imaginative writing, he gave his students an assignment to write a story based on a visual prompt. He decided to join them in the session and rediscovered his love of writing. With his desire to write rekindled, he began writing the first draft of Long Valley that week. As a story, Long Valley was inspired by many influences, mostly authors he enjoys reading such as Matthew Ridley and Stephen King. He also drew ideas from horror and science fiction movies he's watched over the years like Dawn of the Dead, Aliens, and The Mist. When he first attempted to publish Long Valley, Robert could tell competition was high. The act of finding a literary agent and a publisher is difficult. He felt, and I agree with his sentiment, that literary agents and publishers already have their niche in the profession, clientele they wish to represent, chosen genres of preference, and are not that willing to reach outside of their comfort zone, which is understandable because when you find a formula that makes money, it gets a little scary to try something new. Sometime after making the decision to self-publish instead of going the traditional route, he's discovered other authors like himself who are writing some incredible pieces of literature and art. Robert suggests everyone who loves reading should try something from an indie author because you might just find your next favorite writer. I asked him, what is it about books that he just loves so darn much? And he told me the ability to escape to faraway lands to meet new and interesting people, go on intense journeys just by reading words printed on the page is amazing. The idea that a person can be sitting in a chair by the window with a book while the book is allowing their mind to let them escape into a world where they're flying on a fire-breathing dragon over snow-capped mountains is just marvelous. In his opinion, movies and television are great, but Books will always be far superior. They stay with you because you had to use your own creativity to visualize everything, and that commits it to memory. He feels this is why avid readers make such great writers. You know, my lovelies, it's been snowing a lot lately. A bit strange for this area during this time of year. I know it's winter and all, but still, it doesn't snow around here like that. You know, whatever, a little snow is a good thing. I rarely ever see it. Let's get back to the story. So, what exactly is Long Valley all about anyway? In the small community of Long Valley, nestled comfortably beneath snow-capped mountains, people quietly go about their business. Everybody knows everybody, and there are no worries to give mind to. But something has awakened. A tragic accident near the valley's army base sparks a number of terrifying events, placing the local civilians in mortal danger. When a contagion is subsequently released into Long Valley, infecting pets, livestock, wildlife, and people, it's up to local law enforcement and a small band of citizens to try and keep the town safe. In the end, it becomes a struggle for survival as people of Long Valley are overcome by the urge to feed. Oh my, it's snowing quite a lot. I don't keep talking about the snow, but this really wasn't on the weather report today. And around here, like I said, it doesn't snow like this, even during winter. But before I head inside, I would like to give you my thoughts. Did you hear that? I'm not hallucinating because of snow. Did you hear that? Okay. I heard it a second time. I hope I'm not the only one hearing this, but I'm going to do what every horror character does not commit to. Well, some do, but it's not the majority. Either way, I'm getting out before whatever that was gets in. I'm just going to get out. I'll tell you what I think about the story on the way. Time to go. My lovelies, I don't know where to begin with this story. The entire book was just a non-stop roller coaster of excitement. I guess I should start with saying I am grateful to this author for how he handled his characters who were extremely unwise in an intense situation. Most of the time, especially in mainstream horror, characters who are extremely foolish and do not make rational decisions when things are about to go downhill get way more time and attention than characters who are trying to figure things out in a rational way during the extreme situation of somebody trying to kill everybody. So by giving his more foolish characters just small little quibs of time or shorter chapters, it lets them be entertaining to the reader without dragging out someone doing something they clearly should not for 30 chapters. An example of when he does this is when things are starting to get bad and the sheriff tells the town that there are these strange monsters on the loose, they're killing people, and that they need to band together to create a line of defense to protect themselves. There is a family that decides they're not going to join in with everybody trying to create a place where they can at least guard themselves and be safe until they can figure things out. They're just like, forget you, Mr. Sheriff, I don't believe you. I'm just going to go home and ignore you. Later, as they're driving home, The wife regrets making the decision to just head home instead of going with everybody else. Her husband is all like, no, we were right. The sheriff is being foolish. I, who have not seen any of this stuff, nor have any real information about this whole incident, clearly know more than him. Right before they get attacked and murdered by the monsters that have been let loose on this small town. I really did enjoy this scene because it shows how this couple, yes, is being extremely foolish. It's brought up that they are being foolish and probably should have made a different decision. But it's not dragged out to a nauseating degree. It shows the scene and moves on, instead of forcing us to read 30 chapters of this family trying to decide and making more foolish decisions. I feel keeping it short, sweet, to the point in that moment was something the author did that was very smart, and it allowed the story to stay fun instead of becoming a real drag and me begging the monsters to please get rid of them. Another scene in this book that was just really fun to read, I'm happy the author put this in the book because it was just so much fun to read how this played out, is where the contagion starts to affect a lot of the animals in the area, and it mutates a rat to the point where you could even tell that that thing was a rat. And this rat has developed a taste for toes. So it starts scrounging around looking for a toe to eat because it's just so good. Eventually it sneaks into somebody's house and bites the poor man who lives there. The man immediately gets away from the rat before it can consume his toe and locks it up. Now, instead of doing the traditional horror trope of just wrapping his foot up himself and trying to kill the rat on his own, he immediately acknowledges something not right is going on. He doesn't even know it's a rat because it's so unrecognizable, and he needs to get the HE double hockey sticks out of his house and seek immediate medical attention and alert people that there's some strange being in his house. When he arrives at the hospital and tells the doctor and the nurses who are treating him what happened, he starts to get sicker and sicker, and they can't figure out what's going on until eventually this man mutates into some terrifying beast and murders one of the hospital orderlies. The nurses and the doctor don't stare at him, screaming and crying. They get the HE double hockey sticks out of the room and lock him in and try to figure out what is the best course of action because something has clearly transformed this man into some kind of beast. So then the question becomes, what happens next? How do they handle this patient? Does this man escape and start eating people? Are there more mutant rats running around? Do the mutant rats take over the town? Where on earth did this contagion even come from? Find out more by grabbing a copy of this book. It's definitely some scary fun. Okay, nice and warm, more comfortable space. No weird animal noise that I am definitely not going to investigate because I have a feeling I don't want to know what that was. Anyway, my lovelies, we have reached the part
that all authors fear.
That's right. It's rating time. So when it comes to Long Valley by Robert E. Kreig, I am giving it the rating of 5 butterflies out of 5. This was just a really good tale of terror, and it had me on the edge of my seat all the way out through the book. So if you're looking for a nice spooky story, trust me, you don't want to miss out on Long Valley. All right, my lovelies. If you made it to this part of the video, thank you so much. And please give this video a like. Leave me a little comment. And if you have not yet, slap that subscribe button like it owes your money. And don't forget to give that little notification bell a ring. And with that, my lovelies, this video is a wrap. Now, if you please, come with me as we dance into a world of magic.